What is going on, Wastelanders? It is me, the Lone Vault Wanderer, here again to talk about Fallout 4. Now, as soon as the Fallout 4 reveal trailer came out, the biggest gripe that I saw people had with the trailer were the graphics. People were saying the graphics aren't up to snuff, they don't look modern, they look outdated, they're not that high quality, the fidelity isn't there. So I want to give my opinions about the graphics that I saw in the Fallout 4 reveal trailer. First of all, you're watching a compressed YouTube video, which means the quality is going to be dumbed down a lot. When you upload a video to YouTube, no matter how high quality it is going to severely compress the YouTube video. So that in and of itself is going to add to some of the blurring, to some of the choppiness. That's simply what happens. Secondly, I think people are so upset because they're making the inevitable comparisons to The Witcher 3, which is an absolutely beautiful game. But let's bear in mind that Fallout 4 is probably going to be much bigger than Witcher 3. Probably not in terms of the hours of gameplay that you'll get. I believe Witcher 3 can be anywhere between 100 to 200 hours, and I'm assuming Fallout 4 is going to be a similar amount. But in terms of the size of the world, I strongly believe that Fallout 4 is going to have a much bigger world than Witcher 3. So when you have a much bigger world like that, which is absolutely massive, even like Fallout 3, some reservations have to be made, and one of the biggest areas that you can cut down on in order to ensure the world is as large as you want it, but still ensure the game is smooth, particularly on consoles, is by dumbing down the graphics just a little bit. So because of the potential very large size of the Fallout 4 map, I believe that's why Bethesda had to turn down the graphical fidelity just a little bit. Thirdly, it is probably a safe assumption that the trailer that we saw about Fallout 4 was rendered in-game and it wasn't actually CGI. I believe that if it was CGI, it would have been a completely different look, but that look rendered in-game. And because of that, it's just not going to look as good as a CGI trailer would, so people would make inevitable comparisons to games that do have these very nice high-quality CGI trailers, so bear that in mind. And fourthly, it is obvious in my opinion that Bethesda was not trying to go for a super realistic look in Fallout 4. It seems to me that they were trying to go for this stylized and unique art style in Fallout 4, something very similar to Rage, maybe a tad on the Bioshock side of things, but they definitely weren't going for this super realistic, it looks like real life kind of look. I imagine a scale here. On one side of the scale you have a super realistic looking game. On the other extremity of the scale you have a cartoonized, stylized kind of look of a game. Towards that end you would have games like Bioshock, like Borderlands, probably Borderlands way further that end. And towards the realistic looking side, you'd probably have games like Far Cry, like Witcher, and obviously Call of Duty. So I would imagine Fallout 4 to be somewhat in the middle, but probably a tad towards the cartoonized side of that scale. And as I was streaming today, somebody made a great point in that kind of stylized, cartoonized visual look and visual art tends to allow a game to look better as the years go on and to age really well. And what do I mean by that? Well, you look at games like Bioshock Infinite, like Borderlands, etc. that have that cartoonized, stylized kind of look, a very unique look. I believe that games like that look better even nowadays. Like for example, let's look at Borderlands 1 and let's look at Bioshock 1. I think those games look really good still today because they have that kind of cartoonized, stylized look that ages really well. But games that go for that realistic look, I believe, do not age as well. We will look back at a game like, for example, the earlier Call of Duties, and we think, wow, they don't look good anymore. They've aged really badly. In my opinion, a game like Fallout 3 has aged very badly if you look at it just on the console. But in comparison, I believe Fallout 3 was a tad on the more realistic looking side of things, not too much on the scale, but Fallout 4 has brought it back to the other side, to the more unique, stylized, cartoonized side of that scale. And because of that particular artistic direction and art style that Bethesda has tried to implement with Fallout 4, I believe that people are mistaking that for subpar graphics, for graphics that aren't really modern. Again, this has to do with making the comparisons to Witcher 3, which I believe is going for that really realistic look. But Fallout 4 obviously has not gone for that. They've gone for a unique, stylized look that's going to allow the game to age better. And it's obvious, especially when you look at the uncompressed version of the Fallout 4 trailer, that the graphical fidelity is there. It's just not a realistic look. Like, for example, I saw comparisons with the German Shepherd in the Fallout 4 trailer and the dog in the Call of Duty trailer. Obviously, the dog in the Fallout 4 trailer doesn't look as good in terms of graphical fidelity because that's not what Bethesda was going for. They're completely different looks. It doesn't mean it looks bad, it's just different. So anyways, Wastelanders, those are my thoughts on the whole Fallout 4 graphics debate. Please put your thoughts in the comments below. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter. The links to those pages are in the description below. And until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself. And as always, keep fighting the good fight.